Okay, for anybody watching the replay, give me a second here. We had some issues. I had to restart the system and give everybody a new link here because the original scheduled live, the link was not working, did not let me go live. So right now I'm just trying to get to our settings here so I can get the link and post it in the old one. So everybody that's in there waiting for the go live can get here. So just give me a second here. We'll be able to get everybody into this one so we can get started. Everything wants to be slow, which is kind of a bad time for this to be happening. Okay, this is not working either. Okay. Is there people on here? It says there's 9 people on. So I am trying to get the... If you can, post a link in chat groups, whatever. I am not having much luck right now. My computer's not, or YouTube account's not working with me very well. Hi, Robert. Either can somebody post a link in the chats or just post it in this chat on YouTube or something. I can't even see the link. My YouTube account, I don't know what's going on. I can't pass the link out to anybody. This wasn't the planned YouTube live. The one that was scheduled, the link that's on the .com site is not this link. So we got a bunch of people sitting in the wrong room because it wasn't working. Let me see if this brings it up. Nope, that's the wrong link that everybody is sharing. So I still need a link to this page. Anybody can help me out here? We got like 40 people sitting in the live stream that was scheduled, which is the wrong link because it won't let me take it live. I have no idea why. So I had to start a separate one. So I can't even see a link. I know, Sid, and I need a link because I can't even tell them where to go. Bonnie just posted it. All right. So let me go here real quick and update this page. Okay, just trying to update a few things here and then we will get started. Dash. Okay. Oh man. Maybe I'm trying to update something. Nope, not gonna work either. Okay, so we're just come back to this live. Hopefully everybody's gotten in here by now. Blah blah. And I kind of slurred all my words there. Hope everybody's gotten in here. I see Bonnie shared the link in a few of the chats, so I don't know what happened there. Everybody kind of got put into the wrong one. The one I scheduled was, I guess it turned itself into a live stream or something, and I don't have streaming software, so it wouldn't let me start the video. Now it seems this new chat is working. So before we get into numbers, a couple of things. This week, I approved some more payout requests, things like that. I also denied more in the past week here than I think I've ever denied before, because people have not been changing their settings in their profile to, when you go into profile, the last tab, let me see what it's called here, is your payment details in your profile, your member management profile view. Payment details has a spot for your Bitcoin address and a spot for your payout method. You have to edit that page. There's a little pencil somewhere that gives you the edit ability. You change it to Coinbase payout method instead of bank, and you put in your Bitcoin wallet. I had a bunch of withdrawal requests this week that were all bank. So I had a lot of denies. Other than that, we've done quite a few more payouts. Let's see. I think we have paid out a total of, since launch, upon request. Let's see, we've paid out, waiting for this page to refresh here. No, it's over 12,000. $12,222 as of right now that we have actually paid out. And good news is, to make everybody feel better, because usually in systems like this, obviously, your owners and admins are at the very top, so usually they've made the most money. The great news is, only out of that $12,222 that we've paid out that has actually been withdrawn from Infinite Funds, only about 1,000 that is from anybody, including me and all the admins. So regular members, there's been over $11,000 paid out. Because we've had 2 admins pull money out of Infinite Funds so far. Other than that, the other admins, myself included, has just left everything in. Let's see. Let's go into numbers first, like we usually do. I know a lot of people always, they want to hear the numbers early on. So I'm just pulling up my board view. I didn't go through and write them down because I was having issues getting the live to work. All right. In the membership matrix, last week we had 118,464. Yeah. This week we have 127,082. So, almost 9,000, not far from a 10,000 position gain this week in the 50-cent matrix. Which, that matrix isn't always a big thing to people because the lower levels, there's so little payout. So I know everybody's always looking for the bigger matrices, the $5 fast, things like that to be paying out, because membership matrix only pays 50 cents, it moves up slowly. But the good news is at 10,000 a week, we are growing. So eventually we will get to higher levels and, make larger payouts from that one as well. Let's see. In $5 fast. In the $5 fast, last week we had 4,872. And from the week before, we had a 316 gain. This week we have 5,082. So $210 gain. Our gain's looking a little slower, but as it's slowing down, we kind of expected this. The system gets wide. People don't put in as much money out of pocket, which is okay, and we understand that. But that's why we have phase 2 coming. That's why after phase 2 we'll have phase 3 coming. Because we want to give more people the opportunity to be at the top of a matrix where they earn faster. Therefore, when that happens, we always want to kick back into phase 1 and keep it growing. That way, your money in phase 1 is never wasted. Your money in phase 2 won't be wasted. We'll start tying everything together. So as one starts to slow down, the next one comes out. We all jump in there. It helps build up the previous ones where people have money, setting in and hoping it keeps, never stops. That's the whole point of what we said from the very beginning. It'd be cool if owners from different companies would all work together, sharing the members, getting, people to join different things, because they all have a different members list. Members at the top of one are not at the top of another. So, and since a lot of owners, don't do that, I've had people approach me on programs that, they think, they want me to look at and things like that. And some of them I'm still in the process of getting around to looking at them. But the funny thing is out of all the videos we've done and the many times I've said this, I have not had one owner contact me. I haven't had one owner of a program come to me and say, hey, let's work together. So, it's, kind of funny that hasn't happened. And the whole time I've been saying that's really what I would love to have. But that's why we're doing phase 2. That's why we're going to do phase 3, and we're going to keep going, because we are going to build that system of multiple programs working together, all within ours. So let's see, $5 mid. Let me get to the last page here. Loading. $5 mid last week had 1,615. And it had a 58 gain. No. Yeah, 58 position gain from the week before. This week we were at 1,688, which actually gave us a 73 gain. So we had a larger gain on that one than we did the previous week. About 15 more than we had the previous week. So, and like I said last week, I'm still working on, once I get everything with phase 2 situated, I am working on larger giveaways and things like that into some of the bigger matrices, the 5 mid, the 20 fast, the 60 fast. I want to speed some other things up because I know they do kick back towards the 5 fast too. We've been doing a great job with the 5 fast. So if I can give away stuff that speeds up others, that also kicks to the 5 fast, it's just going to help everything. It's going to help people in different areas and stuff like that. So, okay, with the 20 fast, last week we had 804. And this week we have 832. The previous week we had a gain of 18. Okay. So this week we had a gain of 28. So we gained 10 more than we did the previous week. So it is growing. Some of these are speeding up a little bit, it seems. They're not as fast as we'd like them, but that's why we're going into phase 2. Because phase 2 would help them, plus me giving away more would help. But it looks like they're faster than the previous week. So 5 fast slowed down a little bit, but the others so far have sped up a little bit. So in the 15 big, last week we had 616. We had a 21 gain from the week before that. So let's see what we got this week. 636. So we had a 20 gain, about the same, one less. So in the 60 fast, we have 60 fast. Last week we had 159. We only gained 2 from the prior week. So that one slowed down a lot the prior week. So let's see what we got this week. Fast, 616 last week, or 159 last week, and it sped up a tiny bit too. 164 this week, so it gained 5 instead of last week's gain of 2. So after we get through this, I'll talk a little bit about where we're at with phase 2. Let's see, 50 bigger. Now next week I'll try to have all these numbers ready ahead of time. It just threw me off when we had that issue with the with the live stream not coming up right. Okay, in the 50 bigger, last week we had 137, and this week we only have 138. So the week before it gained 6, this week it gained 1, which was kind of expected. I kind of figured these big ones, the biggest ones, would slow down a lot, mainly because we've announced phase 2 now. So a lot of people aren't going to throw money into the 60 fast, the 50 bigger, 150 fast, 200 huge. Don't let that stress you out if you got positions set in there, because it's once phase 2, phase 3, everything's going to build. Those will come around. Let's see. I've got money set in those two that is obviously not moving. So let's see. 150 fast. Come on, page. 150 fast last week had 68. Which had no gain from the week before. This week, 69, so it did gain one. So it gained more than it did last week. The 200 huge had 64 last week with no gain from the previous week. Waiting on my pages. And this is the same, 64. So that's 2 weeks in a row. The 200 huge gain. So all right, so let's talk a little bit about, because that's like the last 3 of those is not very, they don't really raise your spirits a whole lot. But it is good to see we've had people cycling out of the 5 fast. Let me see here. I kind of give you an idea where you're at in as far as where you're looking at the cycle. The 5 fast. Letting page load. 5 fast is. Let me jump a few pages out here and see where we haven't cycled yet. And when I say cycled, I mean every level. You cycled out, got the full day. So I know in Facebook group stuff, some people say cycled, and really they just mean they got a level completion bonus. If you have position anywhere in the 80s, you're getting closer on the 5 fast. Right now looks like it's working on position 79. That'll be the next one to completely cycle out of the 5 fast is position 79. So let me see where the 20 fast is at. It's harder to tell with the ones that aren't the fast matrices, because they haven't cycled as many people yet. So which, for instance, like the 5 mid. The 5 mid, I think, has cycled out 1. And that was the admin account. And believe it or not, I'm not even number 2. So I didn't buy in the low ones on the first day. So let's see. The 20 fast is working on, looks like number 13 currently. Well, and Jeff, they used to be fast. we just got wide so fast that nothing's fast anymore. But they'll get there eventually, John. That's why I keep like phase 2, phase 3. Everything we do from here on out will feed into the first phase 1. So that's anybody we market. Like if you want to, you can market phase 2 to people that aren't even in Infinite Funds, that aren't in phase 1. And if they're smart, they'll at least join Infinite Funds as a free member because they'll get pipped in, to phase 1. The great thing about that is because if they become a free member, they join. Once the money from phase 2, what it's going to do is when it creates what I referred to it in the programming language of talking to the programmers, telling them what I wanted, I called it donation money. It's literally like in phase 2, if like one of the matrices costs $7 to join, when you get paid out, you get your 30 something dollar payout, 31. But it also makes a $7 donation money. So that $7 donation money, what I'm going to do with that is like once a week or once every 2 weeks, we're going to see how fast it's moving to see how much money we can put together in donation money. And we're going to go to random.org, enter how many members we have, 1 to 22,000 and something, which I'll have to check that too. But enter our total amount of members and let it draw numbers and give away positions to members. So that's how we're going to do it. So literally they could have never put a dime into phase 1 and they could win positions, which keeps the system going for all of us that did put money into phase 1. 15, or I just say 15 big or 5 mid. 5 mid is sitting at 1,688. 15 big is sitting at 636. Yeah. Yeah. And like Lynn said, cycling means you completed the whole matrix, and it'd be a long time before anybody cycles the membership matrix, the 50 cent one. Our big thing now is phase 2, phase 3. I've got an idea for phase 4 already, but it actually might get done as phase 3 because I think phase 3 is going to take us a little longer to figure out. So I may have an idea for what was going to be phase 4 will be phase 3 already, because it won't take long to build it all. But with that one, I'm thinking about taking a step back and instead of allowing people to buy into multiples, literally let it run from 1. Let it build like any other matrix. Yeah, Chris, there's no PIF list. I mean, you technically could. You can sign somebody up and pay for them. But there's no PIF list. There's no any of that in phase 2. So yeah, that's the difference. Let's see, members. I want to see the members. Let's see if we've gained any. Last week we had 21,635. This week we got 21,797. So we're not gaining as fast as we'd like to. Hopefully, my thoughts here is like, phase 2, phase 3 comes out. They're going to speed up our membership gain too. Because, they're set up differently. We're trying to change. Each phase is going to have different things about it because we don't want, the same platform over and over again. That would get really boring. But then, when you join any matrix system, if you join one, all of them have different pay plans, the way the pay plans work, things like that. But you join one, it's always fast in the beginning. Everything, even a 2 wide, slows down because once it gets wide, there's nothing you can do about it. It's going to slow down. So the giving different types of pay plans, different things like that over the course of the being able to join different ones is just like joining. They say that no millionaire has one source of income. On average, a millionaire has 7 sources of income. So if we can create 7 different programs, it may take you, if we get like this one now, it's getting pretty wide. So if it takes you 2 months to see a level up, a completion in a level, that's 2 months before you see anything in that one. But if you're in 7 different programs, what are you going to start seeing? Do you start seeing things every week? They may just be coming from any of the 7. Do you see things coming every 2 weeks? You know what I mean? So the chances of getting paid a lot more often, your pay being running at different time schedules. You never know. You could get lucky in 1 week. You could see 7 in 1 week. Just depends on how things are moving and everything. So that's the main point of this, is to try to bring, rather than letting one system get so wide that you're 2-3 months between a level up, we have multiple systems running, so things are just hitting. You're seeing money coming from different avenues all the time. And that's why I think that owners should work together. It would create the best type of system. But like I said, we've been doing this. We launched phase 1 on August 10th live, but we've been doing this for quite a bit longer, and I haven't had one owner contact me and say, this is my program, this is how it works, to where I don't have to go search. The guy's actually telling me how it works and telling me, let's team up, let's bring our people together. But nobody has. So, maybe after this video, maybe somebody will. But that's why we've been working on things. And right now, phase 2 has still not started being built yet. I am waiting on one last quote. They asked me to give them till tomorrow. So I'm giving them till tomorrow. But I have 2 quotes on it already, and they're pretty close to the price I was hoping for. So if this guy can get in the price, then we're good. Or this company, I should say. But phase, what I was thinking was going to be phase 3. Will probably be phase 4, because it is going to take a little longer, because me and Josh got quite a bit of work to do to plan it out correctly. Phase 3 will be something simple that can be built pretty quickly. That's why I'm probably going to move it up, because it'll be done before we even need it. So, by the time phase 2 launches, phase 3 will probably already be built. And then, we'll start on phase 4, and that's the one I've kind of been looking forward to, because, we're looking at doing different things, more of a, I'd like to bring in one phase where there's more products or services, things offered, with like more of a monthly fee, that you pay like a membership platform where you get paid multiple levels down from anybody joining from your link, where you can control more of the what you're going to get paid all the time. A lot of matrices that say you're guaranteed to get paid weekly and things like that. The only way you can get paid weekly, that any program could guarantee that, is if there's a monthly fee. If you're not paying a monthly payment, their guarantee is bullshit. Pardon the French, but because it's totally dependent on people joining the system, and eventually it gets so wide it can't happen. I've said that from the beginning. When we started phase one, I couldn't promise people would make money on a weekly basis. I knew in the beginning, like the first, we grew so fast the first day. Literally, people didn't get paid weekly for the first 2-3 weeks because it seemed like everybody got paid a lot in the first. There's a lot of payouts in the first day. Then we were so wide, it was like it's been taking a while. So they're going to have different back offices, James, until I can find a way to either have made enough money or something to afford to put them all together. There's going to be no other way in. I have been looking at the possibility of having not a phase built, but a login platform where you could log in, and in that have stored, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and just be able to click on it, have your password and stuff stored, so it automatically just logs you in from there. So you could literally go to one site and it would shoot you into the other sites just by clicking on a link, as long as you stored your username and password in it. So I have been looking at a way to try to make it easier, but a lot of the a lot of this is it's cost issues. I started this program wanting to help people, as well as myself, my admins, things like that, but I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to dump into it. So Kim, I can't answer that at the moment. Without the final quote, I don't know the time frame. So that will, once I have this final quote, I will be able to announce that answer. But I'm not going to give a guaranteed launch date. I'm going to give this is when they say they'll be done, and we'll go from there. I tried to give guaranteed launch dates for phase 1, and we kept having to postpone and kept backing up and changing things, and kept running into stuff. So I'd rather get it done and then say we're launching on this day because I've already tested, it's already working. But I talked to one company about putting phase 1, like them rebuilding phase 1, migrating all the stuff into it, because they said they can build phase 2 into the same system, and then they could add phase 3 and they could add phase 4. The problem is to rebuild phase 1 and migrate everything in. Okay, then that right there is over $30,000. Then they want to charge me to build phase 2 in that platform. Then they'll want to charge me to build phase 3 in that platform, and then build phase 4, and it just goes on and on and on. Keeping it separate, we're under 10 grand all the time. So, and then, I can have a platform built that has a login that could store the information and, move people to it a lot easier, by doing that. And it probably wouldn't cost me $1,000. So that's the way I'm looking at doing cost efficiency. Because you got to remember, I'm kind of in the situation everybody else is too. So, when people message me and say, how come, my positions aren't moving and how, what's taking so long and stuff, I ask myself the same questions. I look in and I say, I haven't been paid. I don't know what's going on. And I look at it and say, okay, it's time. I've got to give it time. And, someone asked me yesterday, well, how much have you made? I don't expect anybody else to post, this is what my wallet has. This is what I made with Infinite Funds. I don't post names. When I post that stuff, I try to black out the names. I black out the usernames because it's nobody's business. Depending on where you're at, depends on who's made more, but I'm nowhere near making my money back from phase one. Our investors haven't made their money back from phase one. So, we got a ways to go, and we're not going to give up because, well, we're still in loss. We know, a bunch of members have made their donations into the system and hasn't made their, $200 back or $300, whatever they donated into the system. So, don't give up. It takes time and it takes patience. So, am I asking you to keep dumping money out of your pocket? No. Those people that are in the profit zone, if you're willing, donate back in, help people. Do I expect you to, I know you joined to make money. So do I expect you to put everything back in? No. But that's kind of where it's at as far as, that's why we've always called it the donation platform. There may be people that have just joined phase one that are at the very, very back end. I mean, for instance, if they joined yesterday, let's say their very first 50-cent position is the last one. They probably won't make even a 50-cent payout for a long time because there's a lot of positions in front of them. And it's pretty wide already. But that's why the other phases are coming in, is because, that position's in the 50 cent. It just helps everything keep moving. Plus, we're going to give away free positions. They don't want to miss those chances, things like that. So we may even give away some money drawings to where we put it straight into wallets. That way we're not, just giving away positions and things like that. Actually, I'll probably do that, depending on how much donation money comes in. We'll probably give away money too. But I'm trying to keep reading here. I'm hoping if this quote comes in tomorrow, most time frames I get pretty much say they need 30 days. So, but this quote tomorrow, the company did ask me, how fast do you need this built? Before they started building the quote, they said, they said, what's your time frame? And my answer to that was yesterday. I need it built yesterday. So hopefully if their quote tomorrow comes in and says we can have it done in 10 days or something, then yeah, we'll be launching this month. So, but they know the other two quotes that I got, they both say 30 days. But this company, I did tell them I need it done yesterday. So let's see what they say, and we'll go from there. So next Wednesday, I'll have a lot more on the updates because we'll have this quote in. I'll have made a decision on who's building it, how long it's going to take, or supposedly take. So we'll have a rough estimate of the when the system's going to come in. No, James, there won't be a required referral amount for phase 2 at all. So I've been, looking at that too, as far as, we talked about upping it and things like that. And I don't think I want to yet. 16 on phase 1 is pretty, that's pretty good. Problem is, I think we brought in too many, church groups, whatever we brought from the PIP list that aren't doing much. And, I've had some people say, well, what about my referral? They're not referring anybody. They're not doing anything. It don't matter. Don't worry about what they're doing. The problem is we brought in so many of those. I think that's also what, kind of slowed down phase 1 huge, because they weren't doing anything. But the bot has been putting their money back in, which has helped it keep moving. So, and that's why we put the bot in the system. So what I'm trying to do is kind of avoid some of those. That's why we're not doing a PIF list in phase 2. We'll avoid some of those accounts that don't do anything, which could make phase 2, phase 3, those ones move faster, which puts donation money into phase 1 that keeps us all growing. So anybody else have any questions? I'm looking. I don't see more questions. So I guess let's see, we went over numbers, we went over membership. In the beginning, I mentioned the payout process, a couple of issues with that people have been doing wrong. The one thing, like in the very beginning, I've always told everybody, we've used words. I've heard people say, invest this, invest that. It is a donation platform. We aren't guaranteeing or promising you will make millions from infinite funds. If we can keep the program rolling and keep new members joining, things like that, people will make money. That's how all these systems work. So, that's the main goal, is it takes people. And, our process as far as admins, me, the investors, that's why we're going in phase 2 and phase 3. We want to keep the system rolling. It's a donation-based platform. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee I'll ever make my money back. There's no guarantee the investors would make their money back. We have more at stake than anybody else. So we are trying our best, not only to make our money back, but to make money too. So yes, that's one thing to keep in mind. If you're getting a little frustrated with it getting slow or things like that, keep in mind, we're working on something that is going to help speed it up. We're constantly trying, and we're not going to give up because we've got too much money invested. So that's kind of hopefully it makes people feel better knowing that, you know, I'm not sitting on millions of dollars and walking away. Um, even when I'm in a profit zone, I'm not going to walk away. Um, Honestly, if Infinite Funds can keep going and not stop, and if we can turn it into, bigger products, bigger services, things with membership fees, monthly dues, eventually we may get to, a platform that literally, who knows, could be a $50,000 platform that, has a lot more function to it and a lot more stuff going on. If we get to that point, this is something I want to be able to hand to my kids. So I don't plan on Infinite Funds stopping. When will we catch up on posting donations from 2 or 3 days ago? Donations from 2 or 3 days ago. I assume maybe you're talking about the subscriptions. Because I know I've had a couple of people say, and I think I even noticed in my account. I didn't fully check it. Let me see. Check it out quick to see if my subscriptions came in. And haven't got any sense. The programmers already know. I've told them I sent the message today. So, So let me see. Oh, the bot got me. Dang it. Okay, so 927 was my last subscription purchase, and had nothing's happened since until today. Yeah, we're working on it, James. There's a lot of, Bitcoin is so easy, but there's a lot of red tape when it comes to checking accounts and cards, and lots of other options. So it's a much longer process, and I'm finding out it's a much longer process than I ever thought it would be. So I kind of got ahead of myself, hoping I could get into it quickly, and it's a process. So I do plan, hopefully, to get into it. Just I don't know when it'll happen. The Bitcoin is such an easy way to do things right now, but I do plan on going different routes. So but we do work with people. If people have can't get Bitcoin in their country, can't get Bitcoin for some reason, let us know. I had somebody the other day that wanted to withdraw. They messaged me and they told me they needed a withdrawal. I think it was $11, and that left zero in their account. And they, we went ahead and did it. So, it's one of those things where I'll help people out. The $15 withdrawal limit, mandatory limit, or whatever minimum, that's bendable. The $5 left in the account is bendable. That's without a message, I deny. If there's not $5 left in the balance and it's not a $15 withdrawal request. So, but I try to be human. I know everybody else is human. I'm human too. There's times, $10 is a lot of money. So, I try to help out what I can, and just let me know. As usual, stay involved with the admins. The admins are doing an awesome job. I haven't been in chat as much because the chat takes me a lot away from everything I get to have to do. I've talked a lot with programmers, different programmers. There's a lot of stuff I do on the back end that really, when I get into messaging, it really just totally takes me away. A lot of times I'll start getting on Messenger on my phone. As soon as I do that, I walk away from the computer because all I'm doing is messaging. That's kind of what I keep looking at off to the side here to see what messages I'm getting. But yeah, most of the time when I start getting on Messenger, I walk away from the computer, and then I might not get back for a couple hours. So, but other than that, I think we're pretty well done. I'm trying to think if there's any other updates. The .com website, the https://infinite-funds.com, where you find the link for this. If you look through, there's multiple pages on that site also. It's got the links to obviously the drop cards, business card drop cards, things like that. I'm going to try to get a link up of actual business cards. I know I ordered some a while back, and I think I'm gonna order different ones, but I'm gonna design some and get them ordered, and I'll post them too, just to see if anybody wants them. Let's see but I pretty much try to put everything on that page. So if there's anything you're ever looking for, it's there. I know I talked about it a couple weeks ago. I am gonna do a new live Zoom meeting that I record that walks everybody completely through phase 1, and then I'll do a separate one for phase 2, because the video on phase 1 does have an error in it on the 200 huge matrix. The pay plan, the amounts are wrong, the money is wrong in it, and that page does state it that on the .com site with the video there, that it states that the pictures are posted of the right one, but the video is wrong. So I am going to remake that. Then I'll make a phase 2 one, but I will keep everything posted on that .com website. So all instructionals, videos for each phase, the links to the phases, just like on the home page, you have the link to phase 1. You'll see more links start popping up for phase 2, phase 3, as we get into those. So that's the ultimate page best page to bookmark. That way you can get to it. And for those of you that don't know or haven't got to it, make sure I spelled it right. That's it right there. So it's in the chat there for you. And other than that, I'll leave this video up on that page for a few days, and then I will update for next Wednesday's live. Other than that, thanks everybody for joining us, and we will talk to you soon. See y'all.